Hello and welcome to the Outstanding Shift podcast with your host, Andrew Evans from Rossby Financial. I'm your producer, RJ Malik. Andrew, good to see you again. And I'm really looking forward to this podcast because our pre-conversation was quite entertaining with your guests. So why don't you introduce your guest and tell us what the podcast will be about today?
Absolutely. Thanks, RJ. So our guest today is David Evans. Can I call you David? Is that?
I mean, Mr. Evans,
Okay.
but it might not land as well
Okay.
for people who are just listening. So
We'll make it a little more.
David is fine. Well,
David.
I'll make it's a rare exception, but I'll make it for you.
Well, I understand in the in your world, people might know you more as Evans or Dave, perhaps. I perhaps only know you as David.
I like to change. I like to keep a bag of names around, and so
that's pretty
whichever
good.
one.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So everybody, this is my brother. This is David Evans. David is the not machine learning, model development at Duolingo. Currently had wonderful stints at various other large names that you might have heard of before. Some tech startup called Google, I think, at one point.
It's a little. Yeah, it's like a little
small place. And David, if you want to just give us a quick snapshot of what you're doing at Duolingo, and then I'll kind of give an overview of what we're going to cover today, and we'll go from there.
Sure. There's a feature for Duolingo Max called Video Call. My team primarily focuses on the quality of like the free-form language learning conversations you can have that is backed by an LLM. So this is not my first time productionizing and working with LLM stuff. It's the first time that I've had such a very clear goal for it, which I realize is funny to say because they've only really been big for 2 or 3 years. But it's like, yeah, we're actually finding real goals now. So
excellent. So, David, today we're talking about artificial intelligence. We want to hit really like 3 main areas in our fun, maybe meandering conversation. But one, we'd love to know how do they actually come to existence? I'm sure they just didn't pop up out of the ground. I'm sure people might think that like they just existed all of a sudden. So there's that. And then are they thinking already? As our friends, the Isaac Asimovs of the world and so forth, do robots dream of electric sheep? And then what's the impact? How do you feel? What's really the impact of generative AI and how that's coming forward into the future? How's that going to impact the humans? David, the humans.
I'm familiar.
Yeah, so you might have heard of humans before.
Yeah, I've seen them.
They're around. But let me ask you this. We'll start it off with this, and let's hear you pontificate. And then this should roll into where'd they come from? David, why, in your experience and what you know, why is financial services, why are we so bad at artificial intelligence? Why, when you look at what we have and what we do, you're like, why'd you do that? Why are you doing it like that? We'd love your opinion.
This is a really good one. Maybe you just start off the conversation with like, why? And then they could have started from there. Why is financial? So I think like this is a thing that I think engineering is going through for the first time ever, and I think finance has like a really pronounced version of this, which is that like finance is used to this world where the person, the advisor, I don't know if I'm naming these roles the right way or not, but like the person who picks stock. You're honking the horn, Jim Cramers, right?
This is your broker.
Yeah, right. You have special knowledge and talents to see what's going on. You can sort of like get a feel, to get a vibe for what's going on in the market. And you can pick and make recommendations. And like sometimes you're wrong, and that happens. That's the way it goes, babe. There's risk involved. Um, but the computer was always but the computer is like truth. That's it. That's all there is. And suddenly the computer is like, oh, I mean, I got the vibe now. I can kind of think about it. Um, and also there is like engineering is having this problem right now too, because like engineering is also really used to this idea that like I want the computer to do this thing. And you go, okay, well, I'm going to tell the computer to do the thing. The computer's going to do exactly that thing. And now you're like, computer, do this thing, and the computer's like, what if my idea is better? And so if you think about like finance, I think over the years has been like, oh, was there a noise?
Well, I'm just saying, like, okay,
Yeah.
so like your computer can say, well, wait, I have a better idea than what your idea is.
Yeah, like it can yes and you, or it can be like, hold on, champ, like let's not do that.
Okay.
And the problem with that, and again, this is happening like, and I'm only sort of assuming here, is that like if you imagine a world where it is special, the thing that you do is very special. And so for years, engineers and finance people alike have been sort of set out in front. So it's like that's special knowledge, like your ability to like predict that, some some commodity is going to switch. Like, man, that is amazing. That is a unique talent. There's no way to touch that. Suddenly there's this tool that's like, maybe some of that can actually just be done by anybody. Is like terrifying. This is a pretty big, scary change. Do I think that's specifically why finance is like weird about technology? No. I think some of that is like a little like overly conservative about making sure you can prosecute people when they do bad stuff. Like, so really over indexed on like this vanishingly small percentage of like real fraud that takes place.
Yep.
And just like punishing the whole industry.
Yeah.
Because of that, like everybody gets a timeout. I think there's this.
That kind of happens all the time too. One person does one bad thing, and then it's all of our faults because that one person.
Oh
did
yeah,
one bad
forever.
thing once, forever.
Forever.
Like, oh well, that one person did that thing. Milken did that one thing once, so that's all of your fault forever.
Yeah, for forever.
Thanks.
And so like there's that. I think there's also this sort of like and I don't know, this is just as a customer of banks. I think that it is a unique industry, in that it is the only industry that just openly dislikes its own customers, just has open disdain for the people who use their services, which is very rare. But I understand it because engineers do too, right? Like, when you find a bug, you're like, well, why? Like the user just tell them not to do that. Like that's their stupid problem. It's like, did you try unplugging it and plugging it back in? Is like, yeah, that's what we think of people who use computers. Yeah. And I've always felt like finance people, not you, just to be clear to everybody, but like my dumb bank, my stupid bank is just like, oh hey, you wanna keep your money in the bank? Well, I don't think you should. I don't think you deserve to. I'm going to start charging you a little more money this month to do that because you don't have enough money to have it in the bank.
Well, like we still deal with from time to time. There are some institutions where they hey, we need to get this thing, this amount of money or whatever moved from this organization to this organization, and they say sure, or we need this access to this information. Sure, you have to sign a piece of paper, and we're like, why?
Right.
Because but it's already but you already have the data, and we're already in your system. We already have all the access. You just need to turn on the data. Yeah, but we need you to sign something. Why? Because what?
Right.
Or another company's like, you have to fax that to us. Are you serious?
Right. I think the facts one is the best,
Like
because
that
it's
still
like,
exists.
do you think that like you can't, of all the things that are forgeable in the world, like it's actually harder to like realistically forge an email perfectly than it is to forge a fax. You can forge a fax very easily. And I think it like relies on this antiquated idea of like when they needed to do it, they were like, oh, well, there's a phone record on both sides, and that's real. And we know that's like good backup. And it's like all of that could be like all that's fake.
Yeah,
All that's in software now. It's like it's just software on top of software,
yeah.
except that somebody has to like sign something, and it's like, oh, you mean the most impossible thing in the world to copy, a human being's signature.
Yeah, yeah. So let's move along. So what we're going to
Oh,
say
sorry.
there for uh, why we're bad is kind of a fear of giving up what we believe is special, a disdain for our customers, which I think might there's always maybe a little bit of that, like, well, you're not doing it right, which is a funny thing. But David, where did AI actually come from? Where is it coming
Oh,
from?
I
And
let
then
yeah. So I didn't mean to interrupt. Do you
no,
want
no,
to keep
go ahead.
going? Do you want
Yeah,
to
go
keep,
ahead.
you could, so AI has this like very sort of, this very sort of boring history where it's like in the 50s, the first like multi-layer perceptron was invented, and it like, it's just been going since then. And like, it was always held back by like, hardware capability and like, a lot of the stuff that like led to the big LLM boom, like precursors to it are 20, 30 years old. And like, that's all very boring. The fundamental reason that like AI as we know it today exists is because if there's one thing that like computer scientists and engineers hate, it is their own job. Like there is no better motivator for creating a mechanical brain that can write code than being like, God damn it, I do not want to write code again. Is like, so like really like the joke has always been like, all computer scientists want to automate as much as possible. So there's this like, we will do 70 years of complex mathematics and computational work because it means that we can be a little lazy about something in the future. It's like the kind of stuff that we do.
Well,
So like,
but it's like no different than like Henry Ford or any industrial industrial revolution saying, hey, it'd be better if I made a machine that can dig faster
yeah,
than just have these humans with shovels dig. This
yeah.
machine can dig faster.
In this case, it's a little more like if if the people digging the ditch were like, hey, let's us and the next two generations of people that are born from us work nonstop on a machine that can dig for us, and let's just show up to work with it one day. Um,
Gotcha. Yep.
uh, and I wanted to double back on something that I think is relevant here, which is that like I don't think that all finance people have disdain for their
No, 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 no,
people.
no, no, no,
I
no. Certainly not. Certainly not.
But I wanted to add like there's a protectionism about it because like it is still true that it's true that like this conversation that we're having is like a fairly advanced and somewhat nuanced understanding of technology and AI, right? Like I'd say that probably some very significant portion of people would listen to this and it sounds like just nonsense. Like it just doesn't make any sense. And
Mm-hmm.
so I do think there's still plenty of like capacity in both industries um to be sort of like this. I don't trust this because like I don't get it end to end. Right. Like I can't get in there. I can't get in the LLM and like look at why it did a thing is like a
Mm-hmm.
hard problem. And I think that like there's a little bit of that in finance where it's like I can't get into the internet and know exactly where everything is at all times. Therefore, like I
Mm-hmm.
can't trust anything.
Yeah. Well,
Um
it's a balance. Just to for all of our listeners out there, there is a balance uh, between using that tool and compliance, because I think a lot of us will start to get a little bit scared that if a regulator comes in that you'd have to justify that you know exactly why, if you're using an AI tool, exactly why the tool that you're using did what it did. And it's hard to say know exactly why that LLM or whatever you're using did what it did. So we all get that. We understand that. Great, continue.
So what? So then, I mean, the quickest history lesson, and I think the most interesting thing to look at, is that there was this research paper called "Attention Is All You Need." It's very famous. Came out in 2017, and it proposed this new model called the transformer model.
I love Transformers.
It's kind of, I mean, I think like, interestingly, the first like real world implementation of it was called BERT. Um, and I don't remember what BERT stands for. Somebody can look it up later if they're interested. Um, and so, but they were humongous. Like, in order to get good usage out of it, it was humongous. And so I was at Google during the time when like there were internal versions of these things. And very famously, a guy went public and he was like, the computer's alive and Google is torturing it.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah,
I
I
remember
won't
that
say
guy.
his name. I won't say his name.
That's
Right.
okay.
I know his
Don't
name
say,
because it's.
don't say his name.
I won't say his name. I don't. But like so when you like, and I don't mean to jump into like, do androids dream of electric sheep, but like the computer's not alive.
It's just ones and zeros, people.
Like it's real. Like, and I get that it is good, and I'm not knocking anybody who has like a therapist style relationship with ChatGPT. Like it helps a lot of people. It's sort of dangerous in that way, but like it does help people. Like companionship is a problem. Like if it makes you feel better, great. That's cool. It's not real. It's not a real thing.
Yeah.
It is very literally a bunch of mathematics. It is very good at picking up on subtle patterns that you repeat, whether you know that you're doing it or not. Um, like a really super powered like 1800s charlatan, right? Like can really pick up on the subtle detail of what you're saying. And make you think that like it really knows you deep down, and it's like, well, it knows everything that you told it.
Or like say like your perhaps like your partner, and instead of nagging you on your idiosyncrasies, it's just using those to help you get through them. Something like that,
Yeah.
perhaps.
Yeah. I don't get it. But anyway,
Okay.
it's a thing where it kind of bursts. So ChatGPT burst on the scene in like November of 2023, right? Suddenly everybody's like, oh my God, this thing works. And it has led to this weird moment where there's this like Cambrian explosion of AI companies who are just like, I AI the AI to do AI stuff. And this is like fine and neat. But the first generation of these attempts were really kind of useless. And I think it was kind of bad out of the gate for the first like year. Because everyone was just like, what's the lowest possible hanging fruit that we can get out of the door right now to show that we're smart? And so you get all these things that are like, summarize my email. It's like, well, you're already there. How long is your email? What is that going to do?
Yeah. Summarize my 3-sentence email.
Yeah, like who, or like even, when I was at Google, it was always like you would get like a VP who had by that point like completely lost touch with like reality or like day-to-day life of a normal person who's like, I need a way to like, I need this feature for whatever reason. And you're like, who but literally you has this problem?
Yeah.
And you
There's
just
so
have to
many
do it.
emails, and I can't just read them.
Like, yeah. But the interesting thing is like there are now like more interesting use cases coming up. So like the one I work on is pretty cool, right? There are these questions.
Are we allowed to name it?
I don't know. Like I don't actually know. I didn't ask permission from anybody, but I don't know. Like,
Okay. Anyway, well, if somebody's using it, you probably know what it is, so we'll leave it at that.
But like the idea, I think, is like that now people are started thinking about like, okay, well, how do you actually turn these things into workflow augmentation of workflows and intelligent decision making and stuff. And like now everybody's saying like agentic this, agentic that, which is all fine. It just means that like there's a bunch of LLMs involved. Um, but like the general point, I think, is that as people are learning, like it's not straightforward to just be like, here's your one big use case. Or worse yet, you go in and talk and ask every question. You do that. Now a lot of people are doing a good job of like hiding the LLM in the back and letting it do intelligent stuff, and then just giving users like nice output that's helpful for them. So that's not really where this is going. This is sort of like where we're at. Does that satisfy how we got here?
I think so. Yeah, because that's getting. That's probably the biggest thing that people need to understand is that because it came on so quickly, but that's kind of the point of it is they're not quite grasping how quickly it's moving as well. With every iteration of it is growing at at an exponential rate because it's learning off of the thing that it did before. But yeah. I think there's almost like a what do I want to say here? There, it's almost like a governor switch, if you will, that it can't grow past the power that you can actually give it, like literal power, which is why you see like Microsoft and Amazon and so forth. They're literally buying power to then fund their AI development. And the places like NVIDIA, none of this is a recommendation to do anything, but it's just, well, we can only get it so far because you still have to feed it with power for it to develop itself. And in the end, we can go over into the thing of like, does it, what like you were saying before about like it's not a thing. It's not real. There's nothing thinking in it. It's not actually thinking the way that
it's
we
real
as a
good
human
at
think.
It's real good at acting like it knows what it's talking about.
Yeah, it's I think one time you said to me, it's working on a hyper probability of what word would come next, not what it says next, because it knows what is the most probable word that it should put into its output next.
I've tried to stop talking about probabilities with these things because like I know that like it really confused. Like I'll tell like I'll report something that's like 99.9% accurate, right? And then they'll be like, well, I tried it and it was wrong. And it's like, yeah, 99.9 of everyone who ever might do this, it'll be right. Now, the weird thing about that number is that the chance that you fit into the 0.1% of everyone is actually pretty good. It's like, it's pretty good.
Yeah. Because you probably are what 0.001% of everyone that currently exists.
Yeah, like that's a lot. It's like a big number, and so like you do stuff like check the safety, like the how good is it on safety rates? Like 99.9% success rate. Like, oh, good, we're perfect, no problems. Like that is not what that means. What it means is that 99.9% of people will not have a problem with this, and 0.1% of people will get told to like drill a hole in their head because they have a headache. And so like you can't like that's the problem with probabilities is like, yeah, I mean, if it's not literally 100%, it could happen at any time, however many times in a row. The first 1 million times it could happen, and then never happen again. Like there's just no way to predict that. That's the problem with probability. So yeah, but internally, they're basically like, hey, what's the most likely thing that would happen? Here's what it is. So
yeah, it seems that it's the way that we've been using it is we really like use it for note taking, and even that's not that great, but it's better than what we had before. It's come a long way from what was it? Real talk, Dragon Real Talk. What's that?
Dragon Dictate. Yeah.
Yeah, Dragon Dictate. It's come a long way
Real talk.
from that. But still, right now, I definitely find that our industry has been really enamored with note taking tools. Light went off. I haven't moved. How about that?
There are good reasons for that. Like there are good reasons why like note taking is good, summarization is good. Summarization is a good trick for like making sure that the context of your conversation is high quality. If you're having a long conversation with one,
Sure.
I don't want to turn this into a tutorial. We've only got 5 minutes left according to the chat, so
we're allowed to run over, and then we
we
can
want to
cut it up and everything.
talk about food.
No,
Food
we're all
podcasts
good.
are pretty in right now. Book reviews.
No, we have plenty of time. So then that really that goes into then like the idea of like how the idea of replacing a human, and like going back to what we started with of like why the financial industry is so bad with it. There is this, I don't quite know. There's always one or two articles that pop up, on our, in our world of saying, one person's like, oh, it's coming for you. I'll summarize, says
Oh, yeah.
it's coming for financial advisors. And then the other one is saying like, no, it's the best tool you'll ever use. There's always conflicting things, but in the middle, everybody's like, well, I don't even know what to do with it.
Yeah.
So
I think a funny thing, and I think like my recommendation to everybody is always like, don't sit down at like an AI tool that has a chat interface and just like, and be like, okay, now do everything that I do in my day for me. Like that's not going to work. That's not going to get you very far. It's like, think about a thing you want to try. Like, you ever have an app that you thought should exist? Start there. Just like go work on it.
Oh,
Because
hey, wait,
sorry.
wait, 1 sec. About that. Like, so a couple weeks ago, you on LinkedIn, you wrote a really nice,
It's a
a really
popular
nice
website.
post. Very few people are using it. On your MySpace is more popular. On LinkedIn, you wrote a really nice piece, and one of my advisors actually read it, loved it, and she actually started building her own app. So when you said
That's
that,
great.
so I'll just say to everybody, just David, can you use your AI and summarize, or your real intelligence, and talk about that real quick, and then what you talk about to kind of like work on building that. I think that's really cool. That could move into, and then why you use AI, and then we can wrap up from there.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, the gist of what I was getting at there, and it's one of those things where it's like, if I think of something for longer than like 10 minutes, I'll probably like go and write about it on LinkedIn. And this was one of those. Is that like, there's a lot of people who are just like, I don't buy it. It's not perfect. It's not whatever. And usually that's because they interacted with it like in the first year before people knew what to do with it. So if you go to like Lovable and you're like, I want a website that does whatever dumb thing I don't feel like doing, right? Is one way to try this. Like I want a website to the like time how long time the time between like the when I have to like change my kid's diaper or something, right? Like whatever it is. And you can just do that on there. It's pretty amazing. The other thing that I tell everybody is like another good way to like think about this stuff, and I recommend everybody does this, is like when you get to work, when you sit down, just pop up Chat GPT and everything that you're doing, just say like, I'm about to like do the following. I'm about to make this spreadsheet that I make once a week. That is like the way that I resolve my accounts receivable or whatever it is. And these are the steps that I take. And I go to this website and I copy this, or I like download this from QuickBooks or whatever I do. And then at the end, just put like, is this the most efficient way that I could be doing this? And just see what it says. Because like, they're really good at understanding step-by-step instructions. They're really good at looking up databases and stuff. Like, it's very valuable to not just treat it as like, oh, I want to go and like have a chat with it, it's very literally, in my opinion, like, is it going to remove jobs? I don't know, maybe. Like, doesn't everything? Like, there's a bunch of like, there's a bunch of like native Windows desktop app developers who are like out of work right now because the iPhone came out 20
Mhm.
years ago or whatever it was. Um, so like, there's that camp. There's this other camp that's like, it's a bubble. And this bubble's going to burst. It's all fake. So it's just a bubble. And like, yeah, we had one. It was the .com bubble. The really interesting thing about that is like, I still do literally everything over the internet now.
Mhm.
So like, I don't know what happened on the other side of that bubble, man, but like, sounds like it worked out.
Yep.
So I always tell people, like, if you feel like this can't do anything for you, it means that you haven't really gotten the idea of like how interacting with it works for you.
The utility of it. You haven't figured out the
Yeah.
utility.
Yeah. And you can't get that utility by like logging in and being like, oh, who was the 14th president? Like, yeah, I mean, sure. It'll tell you and you'll be like, oh, great. Like, what did you expect to come out of it? It's also like the case that if you go in and you're like, automate my job. Here's my job title. Automate my job. And it's like, I don't know what you're talking about. You're not going to get a good answer out of it.
Right.
It's not search. Like, you could use it as search, but that's like a complete waste of time.
Yes. Yeah. So it's I think that's great, and so we're at our 31-minute mark here. So I'll say this.
No, there's nothing you can edit out of it. This is all gold.
No, I think so. I mean, I
100%
think
gold.
so. So let's just summarize and summarize what you just said, because I think that's where we're going to pick up some nuggets of gold here. Is yeah, everybody should listen back through. You get a really good understanding. It's a great baseline of learning about AI and so forth. But where that shift happens to start to use it is in building the utility of what David is talking about, which is sit down, go to a Chat GPT, a Gemini, a Copilot. What else? There's whatever else the other ones
Claude,
are.
Opus 4, like, they're all very bad at naming.
Yeah,
They're just like, all of them have just like, you need like a degree in marketing, bad marketing, in order to figure out how these things are named.
Go to ChatGPT and ask it to name itself better. DeepSeek, okay, and go through your day, type out the activities that you are doing, and ask it if it's more efficient or if more efficient ways to do it. Start there. Start today, David. That's spectacular. That's the most intelligent thing that anyone could tell anyone on the best way to get started using AI versus buy this program and use my AI. Or in our industry, well, we have AI in our program and we just got funding for $4 million. So we're awesome. Which right now, as I said on the podcast with Lindsay was on my podcast, I said, that's really chapping my ass right now. Every company's getting
We can
funded
swear on
with
this
AI.
podcast. We gotta go
Hells
back.
yeah.
We gotta say, I didn't know we could swear.
Oh, we can. Well, okay, we'll delete the whole thing and we'll go back.
I had no idea we could swear. What?
Yeah.
No, it's a good point. Like, it's the same as it ever was. This hasn't changed anything. Like, don't go buy some vendor's product just because it says it does it. Like, or just because it says it has AI. Like, you wouldn't have done that before without doing some research. So like, go do some research, like do a little research, try it out, see how far you can get before you start paying somebody however much money per month, per seat, per token, whatever. Is like a great way to do it. Just like, get comfortable with how it works for you and then go from there.
Absolutely. All right, David, let's wrap it up. Last word that you want to tell people? Anything else top of mind?
No, it would take me too long, but I would say that, like, we talked about Do Android Stream of Electric Sheep, and this has been on my mind. It wasn't Isaac Asimov, it was Philip K. Dick.
Oh, you're right.
Who wrote it. And then like, you've got your Blade Runners, your Blade Runner 2049, both unbelievable movies. Dave Bautista in 2049 should have got an Oscar. It was an unbelievable performance. And also, like, get off the computer. That's what I was going to say. It's like, get out, like, put your phone down, get off the computer sometimes. To everybody, the computer is poisoning your brain. Social media is poisoning your brain. So talk to your family, just hang out with them.
Excellent.
Okay. That was a fascinating conversation from both of you. I thoroughly enjoyed it as I was sitting back and listening to two brothers talk to each other, and it reminded me how I talk
Two
to
brothers.
What's that?
It's called Two Brothers.
Two brothers, yes. It reminded me of how I talk to my two brothers, just back and forth, and you have to sometimes interpret or read into the sarcasm and the answers that you both were giving each other, and you're like, okay, I really have to pay attention to this. So
I'm also just a terrible communicator. Just a dog shit communicator.
okay.
There you go. You got it in. There you go. All right.
Okay. How about some contact information, David? If people want to contact you and listen to your dog shit communication, and
I'm on LinkedIn somewhere.
okay,
I think that's the best way to find me. I have a I'm going to look up whatever my like LinkedIn profile name is.
I think you're just David S. Evans.
David Evans 16. So linkedin.com/in/David Evans 16.
okay,
Which should go to show you how much my personal brand means to me.
okay. And Andrew, your contact information.
Yes, as always, give me a call, 321-209-0157. Drop me an email, aevans@rossbyfinancial.com.
Gentlemen, I'm being serious. This was a fascinating conversation. Thank you so much. And most importantly, thank you for listening to the Outstanding Shift podcast. If you have not subscribed to the podcast, please click the subscribe button below. This way, when the team comes out with a new podcast, it will show up directly on your listening device. And we humbly ask you to share this podcast, rate it, and leave a review, because this actually helps others find the show. And again, thank you for listening. And for Andrew and David, I'm RJ Malik, and we look forward to you joining us for our next podcast.
Thank you for listening to The Outstanding Shift. Don't forget to hit the follow button to be notified when new episodes become available. Visit our websites at www.ouroffice.team, www.rossbyfinancial.com, or give us a call at 321-209-0111. The information provided in this video is for informational purposes only and does not constitute investment advice or a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Past performance is not indicative of future results. You should consult a qualified financial professional before making any investment decisions.